It's a orange juice.
The Tesla is a unique building due to the fact that it has a 0.5 tile hitbox radius. This is 0.1 tiles smaller than a defensive building, so it practically behaves like a cannon, except for the fact that it's 2 by 2 tiles. The Royal Giant will bypass the Tesla if it's placed 4 tiles from the river and 2 tiles from your Princess Tower. It just simply outranges the Tesla. The benefit of the Tesla is that it's the only building you can plant proactively ahead of time for an approaching Royal Giant. With a 5-1 placement, the RG activates your trap card. The Musketeer is another unit that outranges, so it's worth knowing the placement. 4 tiles from the river, 3 tiles from the Princess Tower. Your Tesla will not be within range. The proper placement, reactive or proactive, will be a 3-3 Tesla placement. It's far enough from your Princess Tower to cause the Musketeer to activate it and target the Tesla. Pretty standard stuff with the Tesla. With a 4-3 placement, the Tesla is more within range to pull the Giant into the middle and wreck him. You can also pull the Giant with a 5-3 placement, but only if you plant the Tesla Tower reactively. This means you can pull it slightly farther. But this is a risky placement because if you try to proactively plant the Tesla, meaning if you plant it ahead of time before the Giant is within range, the Tesla won't spring up to pull the Giant. Sometimes if a Giant is played on the outer edge of the bridge, or if a fat unit pushes him aside to the edge, it doesn't pull into your building. However, a 5-3 placement will still pull the Giant if you deploy the Tesla reactively when he's within range. If you're a tryhard, you can actually pull the Giant with a 4-4 placement. This draws him really far into the other lane. The Giant will actually bypass that 4-4 Tesla placement if it's deployed on the outer edge of the bridge though, so that's very risky to play. At the end of the day though, there are all of these high skill maneuvers, but the most solid placement will be a 4-3 placement, which will draw the Giant no matter what. But if you want to up your game, 5-3 placement is excellent for reacting to an incoming Giant. The Golem behaves reactively the same. And just like the Giant, if you plant the Tesla proactively with a 5-3 placement, the Golem will bypass your Tesla Tower. Here's why it's strange though, if you do a 4-4 placement on an outer Golem, it will pull the Giant, but it will not pull the Golem, so forget about this placement entirely. The Hog Rider is just as tricky. He's got an insane sight range, eyes of an eagle. If you do a 3-3 placement proactively before the Hog is even nearby, the Tesla will hide and the Hog will bypass the building. This 3-3 Tesla placement will be able to pull the Hog if you deploy the Tesla reactively. So right as you see the Hog planted, deploy the Tesla and it will pull the Hog Rider. Of course, if you don't want to risk any of this, if you're sitting on Elixir, a Hog will never bypass this Tesla placement. If your opponent didn't perform a pig push and just deploys the Hog Rider right at the center of the bridge, you can plant a 5-3 Tesla to pull the Hog Rider. A 4-4 Tesla placement will not pull a Hog Rider at the bridge though. The Tesla is weird and small. The skeleton barrel planted on the furthest edge, above the chains, and beside the chains will bypass a 3-3 Tesla. Same thing with a balloon. 3-3 Tesla placement will be bypassed with a balloon when it's placed on the edge of the map. The better Tesla placement against incoming skeleton barrels will be 3 tiles from the river and 2 tiles from the Princess Tower. The balloon is the same. A 3-2 Tesla placement pulls all balloons, including the ones placed on the furthest edge above the chain. You can plant the Tesla 4 tiles from the river to draw the Mega Knight in within range of both towers, but it's not enough to stop the Mega Knight. He'll still jump onto the tower. It's better if you place an Ice Golem or Ice Spirit to distract the Mega Knight. This brings him closer and prevents him from jumping onto the Tesla. When the Lava Hound is placed on the second tile from the edge, you can do a 5-1 Tesla placement to draw in the Lava Hound. The Tesla one-shots the pups, so it's an amazing defense against the Hound. When the Lava Hound is placed on the furthest edge above the chain, the same 5-1 placement will not pull the Lava Hound towards your Tesla. What you'll need to do is place the Tesla beside the Princess Tower to pull the Lava Hound. The upside to this placement is that it pulls and tanks 5 out of 6 lava pups. If one tower is down and you need to pull the Giant away from your last standing Princess Tower and you can afford that King Tower damage, planting the Tesla 3 tiles from the top of the map can actually pull him in. This placement does not work against the golem if you plant the Tesla proactively. The Tesla will retract and the golem will wreck your princess tower. If you want to play it that high, what you're going to have to do with the Tesla is plant it reactively right when the golem is finished deploying. This way the golem will start moving towards it. But of course, the best placement will be 4 tiles from the edge of the map, since the Tesla will start shooting the golem while it is still deploying. This proactive placement is the optimal one against golems and giants. The Lava Hound has similar pathing in the middle. If you plant a Tesla 3 tiles away reactively, then the Hound will start flying towards the Tesla and it'll destroy the Hound while it's loading. However, if you place the Tesla in the same position proactively, then the Hound will just completely ignore the Tesla. Quite the finicky card. The most reliable placement is to just place the Tesla 4 tiles from the map directly in front of the King Tower. This will always pull a center planted Lava Hound away from that Princess Tower. You can also plant the Tesla directly in front of your King Tower, tucked away in the corner beside the Princess Tower to wreck a Royal Giant. This placement can be proactively placed. You can even place the Tesla on the other side of the map in the same spot to attract the Royal Giant, in case they have any spells and you don't want them to get any value on your Princess Tower. If your opponent plays the Royal Giant 1 tile higher, this means that the Royal Giant is placed on the 3rd tile from the river. It will ignore your Tesla entirely and remain out of range. This means you have to adjust accordingly for this higher Royal Giant placement. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more quality OJ.